Dober večer vsem skupaj. Lepo je videti tako napolnjeno dvorano ta večer, ko gostimo med nami irskega jezuita McManusa, ki sem ga srečal letošnjo pomlad, ko sem bil na Irskem. Drugače je pa to avtor knjige Odrešilna pot, o kateri bo danes tudi spregovoril. Njegova tema se lepo vključuje v razmišljanje letošnjih Nikodemovih večerov, ko razmišljamo o mladih in o moči in nemoči vere. In tudi o tem, kako to versko izkušnjo posredovati kot zaklad mladim na njihovo pot izgradnje samega sebe in tudi pravične družbe. Prisluhnimo na začetku odlomku iz Svetega pisma, iz prvega pisma Tesaloničanom. Živite v miru med seboj, opominjamo pa vas, opozarjajte malomarne, tolažite malodušne, podpirajte slabotne, bodite potrpežljivi z vsemi. Glejte, da bi kdo ne vračal komu hudega s hudim, ampak si zmeraj prizadevajte za to, kar je dobro za vas in za vse. Zmeraj se veselite, neprenehoma molite, v vsakem položaju se zahvaljujte, zakaj to je Božja volja v Kristusu Jezusu glede vas. Duha ne ugašajte, preroškega daru ne zaničujte, vse preizkušajte in kar je dobro obdržite. Zla pa naj bo kakršnokoli se vzdržite. Sam Bog miru pa naj vas posveti, da boste popolni. Vse, kar je vašega, duh, duša in telo, pa naj ohrani neoporečno, dokler ne pride naš Gospod Jezus Kristus. Bog, ki vas kliče, je zvest in bo to izpolnil. Božja beseda. Nekaj v poteku današnjega večera. Najprej bo pričevanje patra McManusa, nato bo še ena glasbena točka študentke Mirjam Šolar, ki se ji zahvaljujem že za uvod v današnji večer. Nato pa bo možnost za vaše vprašanje, oziroma vprašanja lahko postavite že prej, in bo potem pater McManus odgovarjal na ta vprašanja. Po končanem pogovoru bo možno tudi, da mu date v podpis knjigo, ki jo lahko kupite potem zunaj, ali ste jo že lahko v prihodu. Torej, njegova knjiga Odrešilna pot, v kateri bo spregovoril, je na voljo v preddverju in jo lahko kupite. Zunaj so tudi zborniki Nikodemovih večerov iz preteklih let po simbolični ceni, samo ta večer po 2 evra, tudi te lahko nabavite in na ta način se obogatite z modrostjo, ki je bila tukaj v preteklih letih. Potem bomo tako kot pretekle večere že tudi danes prosili za to, da izpolnite evalvacijski list, ki ga boste dobili potem ob izhodu, da si vzamete še nekaj minut in to izpolnite in napišete. Prav tako bo na voljo tudi čaj, ki ga lahko potem dobite po končanem predavanju in pogovoru. A bi še Domen kaj povedal glede vprašanj? Videli ste že, mislim, da se je vrtilo prej, na kakšen način lahko postavite bodisi na vaših mobilnih telefonih vprašanje, lahko pa tudi na listek napišete in bomo potem to, bo nekdo pretipkal in bomo potem, bo pater Miran Žvanut bo potem dobil to vprašanje tamle na računalnik in ga bo potem predal naprej našemu gostu. Za simultano prevajanje bo poskrbel, za konsekutivno prevajanje bo poskrbel Marko Vajlguni, tako da se ni treba ustrašiti, da bo vse, kar bo povedal pater McManus v pristnem prevodu, potem tudi na voljo v slovenščini. Tako, mislim, da sem za uvod povedal dovolj stvari in sedaj vabim patra Mirana Žvanuta, župnika v župniji Ljubljana Dravlje in patra Brendana McManusa, da prideta naprej in da je najprej prvi del, potem pa bo glasbena točka in nato sledi še pogovor z vašimi vprašanji.
Predno začnemo, postavil 2 vprašanji. Najprej me zanima, kdo od vas je že bil na Caminu, tej romarski poti v Santiago de Compostela. Drugo vprašanje, zanima, kdo od vas pozna koga, ki je že naredil samomor. Najlepša hvala. So, Father Brendan McManus, Very welcome here. We're very happy to have you here tonight. We had a very nice journey to Slovenia, so you could write another book about your journey to Slovenia. What happened?
So I was in Barcelona last week in Spain, and I got my bag was stolen in the station. So I lost my passport, I lost my laptop, I lost a lot of different things. So it was a real pilgrim experience to test how free am I. So here I am without anything.
Tako, pater Miran je vprašal patra Brendana, da smo najprej mu izrazili, da smo veseli, da je tukaj, da smo mu izrazili dobrodošlico in da bi lahko verjetno tudi o tej poti, ki jo je opravil do tukaj, napisal novo knjigo, in je rekel, da je res, da prejšnji teden, ko je bil v Barceloni, so mu na postaji ukradli njegovo torbo, v kateri je bil med drugim tudi potni list, tudi prenosni računalnik, vse druge stvari, in je pravzaprav to nova izkušnja, romarska izkušnja, preverjanja tega, kako prost, kako nenavezan je v svojem življenju.
Pater Brendan bi moral v Slovenijo priti že v petek. Veliko stvari je bilo organiziranih, med drugim tudi ne bi bil gost Nikodemovih večerov v Mariboru. In je zaradi, namesto da bi priletel v Slovenijo, je moral iti na Irsko, narediti nov potni list. In potem v ponedeljek je v enem dnevu naredil potni list, ne bi prišel v Slovenijo zvečer, je bilo letalo odpovedano. Tako da je prišel v torek dopoldne, včeraj dopoldne, tako da ni imel kaj priložnosti videti Slovenije. In ko se usedel v avto, pravi: Miran, mene zob boli, jaz ne vem, kako bom govoril. Torej je bilo treba najprej zobozdravnika poiskati. Smo rešili problem, zob je zdrav in pater Brendan lahko govori danes. So you're coming from the Northern Ireland? In the past we were listening on the news about the conflicts, Northern Ireland conflicts. You grew up in this situation. Now we are listening about Brexit. How do you feel?
Sure. Obviously, it's a very complicated situation in the north of Ireland. On a very superficial level, it looks like the Protestants against the Catholics, but that's just a superficial thing. It's actually about two different tribes or two different groups, culturally and politically, with two different identities, looking in different directions. One to the Republic of Ireland, the nationalists, the Catholics, and the other group looking to Great Britain, to England, to London, for their identity, the Unionists, or the Loyalists, as they're called as well. So that situation's been going on, but we have been living in a process of peace for the last 20 years. It has been very good. But Brexit is a disaster for us because it upsets the whole dynamics. It links the north too much to London, to Britain, and it cuts off the connection with the south, with Ireland. So I don't like Brexit at all. I want to see it changed.
Tako, pater Miran je vprašal o njegovem izvoru, zgodovini, ki je rastel na Severnem Irskem, kjer smo lahko v preteklosti slišali o različnih konfliktih. Pater Brendan je zrastel v tej situaciji, danes pa je situacija povsem drugačna, ampak tudi Brexit predstavlja določene izzive in je na to pater Brendan odgovoril, da je situacija res precej komplicirana, kompleksna, da se na površju zdi morda, kot da gre za katoličane proti protestantom, ampak to res samo na površju. V resnici gre za dve širše gledano skupini, dve plemeni, ki pravzaprav eni se ozirajo bolj kot Hugu, k Republiki Irski, drugi lojalisti bolj k Združenemu kraljestvu in Londonu. In zadnjih 20 let so lahko dejansko res uživali ta mir v relativni polnosti. Zdaj pa je Brexit predstavlja pravzaprav večjo katastrofo, ker ruši te urejene razmere in celotno Severno Irsko veže bolj na Združeno kraljestvo, na London in nekako ruši te vezi in povezave, ki so jih imeli z Republiko Irsko na jugu.
Sure. So I grew up on a farm in the country in the north of Ireland. It's a very simple very simple upbringing with the farm, the 100 acres of land, and then 100 cows.
Pater Miran je vprašal še o njegovem otroštvu, če pove nekoliko o tem, kako je živel do svojega vstopa v jezuitski red. Pravi, da je izrasel na severu Irske v preprosti družini, da so imeli kmetijo, da je bila njegova vzgoja precej preprosta, imeli so 100 arov zemlje, imeli so 100 krav.
So it was we had a lovely family situation, 6 children, and we grew up in a Catholic family, so saying the rosary together, going to mass, and everybody helped on the farm. Everybody had to work on the farm from a very young age. I think when I was like about 12 years old, I was doing a full day's work, driving a tractor, making the harvest, bringing in the bales, looking after the cows, and we were doing everything. And everybody in the family had to help in some way, making the food, looking after the cows, going out to the fields to check on the animals, all of this sort of thing. So that was my first career, especially afterwards. This is my father. He got very ill. About 1981, he had a heart attack. And I had to look after the farm for 2 years, full time. So this was my first career as a farmer.
Njegova prva karijera je bila tako karijera kmeta. Dejansko je njihova prijetna družinska situacija se razvijala okoli tega, da je imel družino s 5 sorojenci, 6 otrok je bilo v družini, tradicionalna katoliška družina, skupaj so molili rožni venec, skupaj hodili k maši in vsi so tudi delali na kmetiji. Tako je že pri 12 letih se spominja, opravljal dejansko poln delovnik, vozil traktor, sodeloval pri žetvi, shranjeval bale in dejansko so vsi pomagali na svoj način, ali pri pripravi hrane, ali pri skrbi za živino, ali pri delu na polju. In prva karijera je tako bila v polnem razmahu po infarktu, ki ga je doživel njegov oče leta 1981, ko je pater Brendan 2 leti pravzaprav skrbel za kmetijo.
So then my father was very sick, and then he died eventually, but my brother and myself were running the farm together, but my brother was very interested in the farm, so he took over the running of the farm, and I went back to college. I went back to study. So I studied psychology, and then I studied computers, and then I got a job in England, in the south of England, with an American computer company. So that was my second job. I was working in computers, in interface design, and that was a great job. And I'm just a young guy from Ireland working in England, and lots of money. Sports car, the girlfriend, the house, the trips to the States, the big life that you always wanted, the fantastic lifestyle, the kind of, we used to call it the yuppie lifestyle, because you don't have any attachment, you're just a single person, you don't have any commitment to anything, so you can just enjoy life and have a great time and travel around the world and have parties and just enjoy yourself. That's a philosophy.
Njegova druga karijera pa je bila potem povezana z njegovim študijem, namreč oče, ki je bil potem bolan, je kasneje umrl, z bratom sta nekaj časa skupaj skrbela za kmetijo, ker pa je bil njegov brat bolj zainteresiran, da bi tam prevzel posel in nadaljeval z kmetijo, je pater Brendan šel na študij, študiral psihologijo in računalništvo in se potem kmalu zaposlil v Angliji, kjer je mlad irski fant prišel do tega, da je načrtoval računalniške vmesnike in življenjski slog, ki je s tem prišel, je bil precej luksuzen, dejansko tak japijovski, je rekel, imel denar, dekle, športni avto, lepo življenjsko situacijo, izlete v Ameriko, niso imeli nobenih obvez, življenje je bilo namenjeno uživanju, to je bilo tisto, kar je bila njihova filozofija v tem času.
So then a funny thing happened when I was working in England and had this great lifestyle that I found inside myself. On the outside, everything was great. We were making money and having a great time and having lots of friends. But on the inside, there was something wrong. There was something missing. And I was not happy. and this was very significant later. This was the Jesuit thing, that it's about the inner experience, the experience of your heart that tells you the truth all the time. And eventually I had to listen to that voice. The voice was saying, this is not the life for you. This is not who you are. You have to do something else. So I went to Australia first. I resigned from my job. I went to Australia. I was working in another job, but I was exploring other things, and I was exploring my faith again for a second time, but with a different optic. So I came across the Jesuits, by accident, where I was in a Jesuit parish, and I got to know a Jesuit, and he was accompanying me, and we were teaching me how to pray with Scripture, using the imagination, which was a whole new thing to me, and this personal relationship with God, which was extraordinary, that God was working in my experience, in my life, and that made sense to me, that God was drawing me directly through life, and through reflection on experience. I could figure out which way to go and how to make decisions, and that became very significant then as a Jesuit. I'm trying to help other people to make good decisions, and I'm trying to get them to look at their experience, look at their inner experience, and see what their heart is telling them, not just the head, what's happening in the heart.
Tako, potem v tem duhu iskanja samega sebe oziroma odkrivanja svojega poslanstva je zunaj sicer delovalo vse super, imel je denar, imel je prijatelje, zabavo, ampak navznoter čutil eno pomanjkanje enega smisla, ni bil srečen in je odšel v Avstralijo. Tam je bila njegova prva izkušnja s tem jezuitskim pristopom do razločevanja, s tem, da ti izkušnja srca, notranje doživljanje vedno pove resnico. In ta resnica je njemu bila zelo očitno predstavljena v tem, da to njegovo življenje ni tisto, ki je mišljeno za njega, da to ni on. Je raziskoval svojo pot in nenamerno pravzaprav se srečal z jezuiti. Tam, kjer je bil, je bila jezuitska župnija, spremljal ga je jezuitski duhovnik, ki ga je naučil potem molitve skupaj s Svetim pismom, tako da je ob preberanju uporabljal tudi svojo domišljijo, da ga je lahko potem nagovarjal Bog, in iskati delovanje Boga v osebnem življenju, v njegovem osebnem življenju. In to je tudi tisto, kar danes del njegovega poslanstva, da v bistvu pomaga ljudem, ki jih spremlja, da sprejemajo dobre odločitve, ki niso samo stvar tega, kar razumejo v svojo glavo, ampak to, kar jim njihova notranja izkušnja, to doživljanje srca pripoveduje.
So I became a Jesuit, and I did all the Jesuit training, which goes on forever. It goes on for a long time, like 12 years. And there is a joke in English that the reason it's so long is because the Jesuits are so slow. They're so slow to catch on. You want to explain that joke?
Tako potem je seveda postal tudi sam jezuit, opravil celotno formacijo, ki traja 12 let, in šala, ki jo imajo v Angliji, je, da 12 let traja zaradi tega, ker jezuiti toliko časa rabijo, da dojamejo vse te stvari.
But just to go back to the story then, imagine the shock for me then whenever my brother died, and he was on the farm. At that stage he was working on the farm. You can see by this picture, he was very much a big personality. He was full of fun and full of life. But something happened, and he took a wrong road. There was depression involved. He was in a relationship that broke down, and he was under a lot of pressure with running a farm as a young person. He was too young, and too much pressure, and too many things, and the depression, everything. So he came to a very bad place where he was isolated and dealing with mental health issues. But I didn't see this coming. I was trying to help him as much as I can to get support, get counselors to talk to him, to keep him going on the track, and keep him asking for help, keep him talking. But I couldn't prevent this, and unfortunately he died in 2005. He died by suicide back at home in the farm. So this was a shocking thing. This is a terrible thing to happen to any family. But when it comes to your door, when it arrives to your family, and being a priest doesn't protect you from any of this. This is what you have to deal with. So this is the worst day of my life was the funeral of my brother. So I'm the priest, and I'm on the altar. I'm trying to say something about my brother. I really wanted to say something. I wanted to say that he was such a good person, and he was very helpful, and he was very intelligent. He always wanted to help others, but he was struggling with a lot of issues with depression. People didn't know. He was struggling with these issues, and the darkness overtook him, and he took his own life. And that was a terrible time for everybody, for the family.
Tako potem je bil za njega dejansko šok v tej njegovi zgodbi, ko je njegov brat umrl. Na sliki, ki ste jo lahko videli, ste videli, da je bil taka velika osebnost, poln življenja, zabave, ampak je imel tudi svojo temnejšo plat, bil je v razmerju, ki se ni šlo, premlad, dejansko prevzel kmetijo, padel pod ogromno količino pritiska, potem se je začel soočati z depresijo, z svojimi raznimi čustvenimi težavami, postal vedno bolj izoliran. Pater Brandon tega sicer ni videl takoj, ampak ko je videl, mu je poskušal iskati neko pomoč, ga ohraniti v neki komunikaciji, v stiku z drugimi ljudmi, mu iskal terapevte, ampak vendar ni šlo, tako da je leta 2005 njegov brat vzel svoje življenje in seveda je to šokantno za vsako družino, ampak ko se to zgodi tebi, je pač šok, ki se ga dejansko ne moreš predstavljati vnaprej in kot duhovnik pred tem nisi zaščiten. In dan, ko je vodil pogreb svojega lastnega brata, pravi, je bil zanj en najhujših dni v življenju. Hotel je povedati kaj pozitivnega o bratu, hotel je povedati, da je bil dober, prijazen, nasmejan, da pa je imel to temno plat, ki je ljudje niti niso poznali, ki niso videli njegove depresije, ki je v končni fazi prevzela njegovo življenje, postala premočna, da bi se lahko z njo soočal.
So then I began the grief process to the loss of someone. And because, remember, my father died, we were very close as brothers. We were like very, very close. So that relationship and the loss of the person was terrible. And you can see from this picture, which was taken at that time, you can see the sadness, you can see the grief, you can see the depression, the loss in the eyes. I was going through the emotions and going through the whole process. But one thing I knew as a Jesuit, I knew one thing, and that was you have to ask for help. If you're in trouble, you have to ask for help. You do not sit there. You do not keep quiet. You do not keep it yourself. You ask for help. So I joined, this was a suicide support group called Console. It doesn't exist anymore, but talking to other people who had been bereaved by suicide was very helpful, to be in the same situation, to talk to people that have been through the same experience. And there's no answers, there's no big solutions, it's just being together in the pain and the struggle of trying to find a way through this difficult experience. So being in that support group, and then I did counseling for myself, grief counseling. I did everything I could. And I remember I was on retreat in Austria, and I couldn't pray because of what happened, but I could write. I found it helpful to write. This is the other thing. You have to find a way to express what's in your heart. You have to find a way to bring it out. So I wrote this article over a week about what happened during the funeral and those days, and trying to come to terms with suicide and trying to find a way to explain and to help other people.
Tako je potem po smrti svojega brata začel z žalovanjem. Slika, ki smo jo videli iz leta 2006, kaže njegovo žalost, ki je v tistem obdobju res prevzemala njegovo življenje. Kot bratje so se bili namreč izjemno blizu, po smrti staršev so se še bolj povezali in v tisti sliki se vidi žalost, potrtost, proces žalovanja, skozi katerega je hodil, depresijo. Kot jezuit pa je vedel o vsem tem, da v težavah moraš prositi za pomoč. Nikoli se ne smeš izolirati, ne smeš biti sam, se usesti nekod, in tako se je pridružil skupini, podporni skupini Console, ki je bila na naslednjem slajdu in ne obstaja več, ampak takrat je hodil na ta srečanja in so mu pomagala. Ni nekih odgovorov, ni nekih rešitev, ki jih tam dobiš preprosto si skupaj in se podpiraš v tem svojem doživljanju stvari. Hodil je tudi na svetovanje o žalovanju, naredil pravzaprav vse, kar je lahko. In ko v tisti fazi niti ni mogel moliti, ko je bil na nekem oddihu oziroma odmoru v Avstriji, je potem začel pisati. Pisal članek o pogrebu, o tem, kako je doživljal samomor, o tem, kako je razumel samomor svojega brata, ker to je pa namreč tista druga stvar, ob tem, da moraš prositi za pomoč, se ne smeš zapreti in moraš najti način, kako se izražaš. Ko on ni mogel moliti, je tako začel pisati.
So at the same time, I got sick also. I got this thing called shingles. It's this disease of the nerves around the body, and it's very painful. And you have a small window to get medication. I missed the window, so I was very sick, and it was my body was saying, "You have to take notice of what's happening. You have to wake up to the reality. You have to do something about this." So I was in Galway in the south and recovering from the illness, and I was trying to work out what could I do to help with the grief process, because I was still in the middle of things. And I remembered, this is back in 1994, remember I mentioned the Jesuit training? Part of the training is you do a 30-day silent retreat without talking for 30 days, and then you do a 30-day walking pilgrimage in Spain with no money and no Spanish, just to make it really difficult, you know. So, but on that walk in 1994, that's where I got clarity. That's where I realized I was going to be a Jesuit, and that's where I knew I would get the answers to the questions. I knew that was the place. I knew I had to be on the road walking, and that would be the place I would get the answers. And that's where the idea of the Camino came from. The Camino de Santiago is the perfect place to be alone in the mountains, walking, and to be able to pray with your walking and to pray with whatever is in your heart and to let God speak to you on the road. That's what the Camino is about. Fundamentally, it's a pilgrimage, it's a journey towards God, and you put yourself in the journey, in the mountains, on the road, and then things will happen. That's what I believe that would be good for me. So this is the start of the journey.
Tako je potem tudi sam zbolel. Dobil neko živčno bolezen, ki je precej boleča, z izpuščaji po koži, ste videli lahko na sliki. Imaš majhno časovno obdobje, v katerem je treba to začeti zdraviti, sicer se razraste in pravzaprav težko ustaviš zadevo. To je zamudil, tako da je potem dejansko se spopadal z boleznijo. Bilo je njegovo telo, ki mu je pravzaprav jasno sporočilo, da mora nekaj narediti, da se mora zavesti svoje situacije, nekaj spremeniti. In na tisti sliki, ki ste lahko videli prej, bil v Galwayju, ko je razmišljal, ko je bil na zdravljenju in se je spomnil, da je v svoji jezuitski formaciji leta 1994 preživel dve stvari, najprej 30-dnevni umik v tišino in zatem še 30-dnevno romanje, peš romanje po Španiji, brez denarja, brez znanja španščine, da je še dodaten izziv. In takrat se je spomnil, da je sam spoznal, da je res zanj ta jezuitska pot. Dobil neko jasnino misli, jasna sporočila, iz katerih je potem naprej živel. In tako je tam dobil idejo v Galwayju, da bi tudi s tem svojim doživljanjem lahko odšel še enkrat prav na Camino, da bi tam molil s hojo, z vsem, kar je v njegovem srcu, in pustil, da mu Bog govori na tej poti. Tako kot namreč sam doživlja Camino kot pot, ko greš proti Bogu in pustiš, da te on nagovarja v tem, kjer si.
So I just wanted to be alone. I didn't want to be with other people. So I chose a route. It's called the northern route, which is much quieter. It's along the coast and it's in the mountains to get away from people. And on the Camino, you're on your own most of the day. You're walking on your own. But one important thing was I brought this T-shirt from my brother. It was the last thing I had of his to connect him to me. So it was a symbol of what I was doing. That was the key symbol. And I had this in my rucksack. And my goal was to bring that to Santiago. And I was going to bring it to the altar in Santiago, in the cathedral, and put it on the altar. And that was what I told my brothers and sisters, that this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be my pilgrimage, and this is the symbol, and this is my goal, to put it on the altar. So that's what I was doing. this is the route that I mentioned. This is the northern route along the top. And the main route is the French route, which is the other line, just running the dotted line, which runs a bit lower down. And it's like the most popular route, and there's lots of people on it, and lots of hostels. And it was too busy for me, so I chose the other route.
Ker je hotel biti sam, si je izbral severno pot, manj prehojeno, manj ljudi hodi po njej, gre ob obali in po hribih, želel biti čim bolj sam. Spodaj označena pot z pikicami je tako imenovana francoska pot, kjer je čez dan tudi na poti veliko ljudi, veliko je hostlov, ampak on je hotel biti sam. S seboj je prinesel majico, ki je bila zadnja stvar, ki jo je imel od svojega brata, športno majico kluba Barcelona, ki ga je povezovala z bratom. To je bil nekako ključni simbol njegovega romanja in tudi svojim bratom in sestrem rekel, da je bil njegov cilj na tem romanju s to majico prikorakati do Santiaga, jo položiti na oltar in na ta način izročiti Bogu.
So, this is me leaving Dublin, and I finished work. I was working in a Jesuit school. I finished on the Friday. I had a Jesuit meeting on the Saturday, and this is the Sunday. And the Sunday I'm getting in the airplane, I'm going to Spain. I was very happy to get away and to start the journey, to actually begin. And then this is the life of the Camino is very simple. You know, you walk during the day, you carry your rucksack, and then at night you go to the hostel, and you have to sleep in a room with other people. And it was a bit difficult. I mean, here, because normally I have a room on my own as a priest, and here you have to share. You have to share everything. You have to share the meals, and you have to share the dormitory, and it's full of all sorts of sounds and smells and all sorts of challenges. But it's a beautiful lifestyle because it's so simple, and because you're connected to yourself, you're connected to the world, to nature. And I thought the Camino was a big special road or walk. It's just a trail. It's just a track. And it's just mud. It's just dirt and earth, you know. So that's the rhythm. You walk during the day, and then at night, this is waiting for the hostel to open in the afternoon. You walk in the morning, and normally you get up early, you know, first light. And walking on your own in the morning is such a special thing. And it's a prayer. It's the real meaning of prayer is just simply being real with God, just being there. Just simply being there and giving this all to God and appreciating everything. The gratitude is the key thing on the Camino. Gratitude for being alive, gratitude for nature, gratitude for every single little thing, for food, for getting a bed, for simple things. Sometimes in our lives we forget the important things. We get selfish, or we think that it's all about me, and we lose the gratitude. And the Camino really recovers that sense of gratitude. And it's a key Jesuit value, being grateful.
Tako na prvi sliki prej smo ga lahko videli, kako je odhajal iz Dublina. V petek je končal z delom v šoli, jezuitski šoli, kjer je delal v soboto še v svoji skupnosti, v nedeljo odšel, bil res vesel. In potem je prišel na Camino, na pot, kjer je ta dnevni ritem, po dnevi hodiš, zvečer prideš do hostla in spiš v sobi skupaj z drugimi ljudmi, z njimi si deliš hrano, z njimi si deliš vse. Kot duhovnik je bil navajen tega, da je imel svojo sobo, neko določeno raven komoditete, tukaj pa so določeni navadni zvoki, navadne vonjave in vse si deliš z drugimi. In pravzaprav je to tudi en dar. Povezan si na ta način tudi z drugimi, tudi s sabo in tudi z naravo. In druga stvar, ko je v bistvu opazil, mislil je, da je Camino neka posebna pot, izrazito lepa, urejena, je pa včasih prav steza, je blatna pot, in samo hodiš po njej. In hodiš zjutraj, hodiš sam, ena posebna pravzaprav molitev. Za njega molitev pomeni biti pristen in navzoč v tem odnosu z Bogom, predajati mu vse, kar je v tebi. In druga taka stvar znotraj te molitve je hvaležnost. Hvaležnost, ki je ključna za Camino in za jezuitsko življenje. Hvaležnost za preproste stvari. Včasih se nam zdi, da smo tako pomembni, da so stvari v našem življenju tako pomembne in pozabimo tisto, kar je resnično pomembno. In preko preprostih stvari, preko hvaležnosti za hrano, hvaležnosti za pot, hvaležnosti za ljudi, ki jih srečujemo, se lahko vsega tega spomnimo.
So being on the road, there's some beautiful places. And there's some challenges. So this is the trail. It goes straight up the side of the hill, you know. And there's a lot of mountains, there's a lot of challenges, and you go up the hill, then you come down the hill. But in the beginning, it was lovely. This is my favorite picture. It was the cover of the book originally in Ireland. And it's first thing in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the Basque country. And the mist is rising, and the sun is shining, and I'm walking on my own, and it's just beautiful. I took the picture on a timer, so I walked past the picture, to take it myself. There was nobody there. And I was thinking, this is it. This is what it's all about. It's all about this beautiful experience, and it's going to be fantastic forever. But it never is,
In ko si na poti, so zagotovo čudoviti kraji, lepi kraji, ki jih obiskuješ, so izzivi. Videli ste sliko, kjer se pot res uspenja visoko, se uspenja, so vzponi, so spusti. In to je njegova najljubša slika, pravzaprav še v Baski, ko je bil ob 7 zjutraj sam šel, ravno so se začele dvigovati meglice, na samo sprožilc nastavil fotoaparat, se sprehodil mimo fotoaparata, ker ni bilo nikogar drugega, ki bi lahko slikal to sliko. In mislil si, da je to. Ta lepota, ki jo lahko spoznava, lepota, ki je lahko hvaležen za njo, in da bo skozi na ta način pot lepa in lepa izkušnja. Ampak v življenju nikoli ni vse tako preprosto.
So it wasn't long before the difficulties began. This is the first thing in the hostel when you wake up. The beauty of seeing other people getting up, and the smells and the sights in the morning. And this is the trail. When it gets wet, the trail turns to mud, and you get dirty. But also the water is a beautiful thing, and part of the Camino is seeing the beauty in the ordinary things, and also seeing the beautiful side of the dirt and the wet. It trains you how to see things properly, and also you meet some fantastic people on the way, and you become friends, even though you never met them before. And you have these moments of sharing and talking. And we met this guy one night in a hostel, and we spoke forever. But the mountains are enormous, and they go on forever. And I had my first injury in Bilbao. I had this injury where the muscle on the front of the shin here is called shin splints in English. And I had to go to the doctor, and the doctor said, no more walking for 3 days, You have to take the tablets, and you have to take a rest completely. So I had a friend in Burgos. I rang him and I said, can you come and pick me up? And he brought me to Burgos. And I was there for the weekend. I was talking to some other Jesuits, and this guy told me this thing, which was the most helpful thing ever. He said, you think that being injured and going to the doctor, he said, you think it's a disaster, not being able to walk? He said, this is the Camino. This experience of being injured and of not being able to walk, this is what the Camino is really about. This is the challenge, to find God in the difficulty, in the injury, in the being out of the Camino. That's what it's really about.
In za tem lepim prizorom, ki smo ga videli, so se začele težave. Težava je lahko predstavlja jutro v hostlu, ko se zbujaš skupaj z skupino drugih ljudi in spet spoznavaš vse sorte zvokov, vonjav in ljudi. Pot, ko je mokra, blato, težko zahoditi, ampak hkrati pa voda, ki naredi to blato, jo lahko vidiš tudi kot eno res čudovito lepo stvar v svoji preprostosti, v svoji vsakodnevnosti. Na poti spoznaš in spoprijateljiš mnoge ljudi, deliš z njimi izkušnje. Z enim gospodom sta cel večer, celo noč preklepetala. Gore po drugi strani so ogromne in se kar vlečejo in tako je v Bilbao pravzaprav prišlo do prve take resnejše prepreke, težave. Vnela se mu je mišica na golenici in šel k zdravniku, ki mu je povedal, da 3 dni mora imeti strogega počitka, torej res ne sme hoditi, mora imati še neke tablete, in je šel poklical svoje prijatelje v bližnjem mestu, da bi ga prišli iskat. In eden od teh, tudi jezuit, mu je povedal eno izjemno uporabno stvar, misel, ki mu je pomembna za ta njegov Camino. A misliš, da je to zdaj, da ne moreš hoditi, katastrofa, da zdaj ne hodiš, da te to oddaljuje od tega? Ta izkušnja, ta tvoja prepreka, ta tvoja ovira je pravzaprav tvoj Camino. To, kar nisi pričakoval, kar se bo zgodilo, to je to, kjer te Bog vabi, da ga najdeš v tej izkušnji.
So I began again starting again, going back to Bilbao, beginning the walk, and there was some really beautiful moments, and the coast and the scenery, just really beautiful. But I got injured again. I got blisters on my feet, and I had to stop. I had to go to the doctor, and I had to take a rest again. And this happened. This was 5 times. I had 5 different injuries at different times, and it's very challenging. But the Camino teaches you, it's not about you. It's not about you being a hero. It's not about the physical strength or how tough you are or how much pain. It's about how you adapt, how you cope with the difficulties, and how you can take a rest at some times, how you read your body, how you can get help if you need to. It teaches you all these skills. I met some lovely people. These are some kids that were playing guitar, and I began to join in with them, and they knew these songs, all these classic rock songs, like Stairway to Heaven. And we were singing these songs in the bus shelter with the kids. It was one of the most beautiful moments. And then, but this is one of the other injuries. I got injured again. I got this was like a cramp in the foot. I had to sit it out, and I was in this bar, and I was in a little house on the top of the bar overnight, and I had shelter and had a rest, and then the next day I started again. But that was the pattern. You get injured, you have to rest, you keep walking, and eventually I got close to Santiago, and you can see how much weight I lost. It's a really good way to lose weight and to get your body in shape, But I just about crawled into Santiago. I just about crawled in. I was so exhausted and so completely done in, so I'd given everything to get there.
Tako je potem spet ponovno začel svojo pot, se je vrnil v Bilbao in spet bil priča res lepih prizorov, ampak se je spet poškodoval. Tako da je v bistvu skozi celotno pot imel pravzaprav 5 epizod teh poškodb. In spoznaval ob tem, da Camino ni v tem, da si heroj, da dokažeš svojo moč, svojo vzdržljivost, svojo potrpežljivost, ampak gre pravzaprav za to, da se lahko prilagajaš, da sprejemaš to, kar ti je poslano na pot, sprejemaš sebe, poslušaš svoje telo, se odzivaš na to, in tudi to ti daje lahko res lepe, čudovite trenutke. Smo videli sliko, kjer se je družil z eno skupino mlajših otrok v nekem hostlu, lepe trenutki, pravzaprav sledil temu vzorcu, in videli smo, kako je blizu Santiaga že precej shujšan, rekel, da je Camino odlično način, da zgubiš nekaj odvečne teže, prideš res v dobro formo, kondicijo, ampak sam je prišel zelo izčrpan do samega Santiaga in se pravzaprav z zadnjimi očmi privlekel v mesto.
So this is Santiago. This is the famous cathedral, and arriving here is a very emotional experience to get there. And this is me in the cathedral, and I'm just praying. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to get there. You see the bandage on my knee? It's got the bandage on it, and I'm a wreck. My body is a wreck, and I'm exhausted, but I'm so happy to be there. And there's a special pilgrim mass on the morning, and I saw the altar, but you can't get close to the altar because it's all, it's protected, and they have guards and everything. So I thought, how can I get the T-shirt to the altar? And I thought, the only way is, because I'm a priest, I can get on the altar, I can go to the sacristy, and I'm wearing the T-shirt underneath the vestments, the robes. I'm wearing my brother's T-shirt, but it's very emotional. I didn't realize how difficult this was, So I'm up on the altar with the other priests, and we're having the mass, and it's just incredibly emotional. I'm really upset, and I had to read a part of the mass, and it says, "We remember our brothers and sisters who have died in the peace of Christ." I have to read these lines, and I'm just completely choked up, But it's a beautiful moment, and I'm at the altar, and I push the T-shirt against the altar to fulfill my promise. Just a silly thing, but I wanted to do it.
In tako smo videli, kako je prišel končno v Santiago, bil izjemno vesel, hvaležen, kljub temu, da je bil telesno izmučen, porušen, je potem se odločil naslednji dan, šel na jutranjo romarsko mašo, ampak želel izpolniti svojo obljubo, da bo položil bratovo srajco na oltar, oltar zaščiten z varnostniki, nemogoče dostopiti do njega in pomislil, da edini način, kako lahko to stori, da pač mašuje kot duhovnik, da pride na ta način blizu oltarju in se je pod albo oblekel bratov dres in ko bom pa na ta način spravil dres zraven. In ko je izjemno čustvena izkušnja, naporna tudi na svoj način in ko je bil kot celebrant pri maši, je moral prebrati ravno tiste vrstice, kjer v evharistični molitvi se spominjamo svojih pokojnih bratov in sester. In ob tistem je potem se odločil in se sam na nek način smešno, ampak vendarle, da izpolni svojo obljubo, naslonil toliko na oltar, da je lahko s svojim telesom pritisnil tudi majico, ki je bila od njegovega brata in jo na svoj način daroval na oltarju.
So then afterwards, I'm in Santiago, and it's a bit of an anticlimax because it's all over, and I've done the walking, and I got to the cathedral, and I met a friend of mine, another Irish Jesuit that I knew from home, and he said, let's go to the coast, let's go to Finisterre, which is the end of the world, it means, where the Camino ends at the sea, at the ocean. So I said, I'll go with you. He said, but I'm not walking, I'm taking the bus this time. So we went out to the coast and we walked out to the very end of there's a peninsula at a lighthouse. And as we were walking out, we saw these people burning. The pilgrims are burning their clothes and their shoes and their t-shirts and they're burning everything. And it looked bizarre, you know. It looked very strange, this ritual. But when I saw this, I knew right away there is something that I have to burn. There's something that I have brought here that I have to burn. This is what I have to do. And I didn't like the idea of this, but I knew this was it. This was the moment, you know. So my friend went back, and the next morning I walked out to the lighthouse myself on my own. There's just one thing in that rucksack, just one t-shirt. And I walk out to the end, and there's a special place where they burn their clothes. So I try to set fire to the t-shirt. It doesn't burn at first, and eventually it starts to melt. The whole t-shirt starts to melt. It's such a heavy material. And then I start to melt. My heart starts to melt. And then I'm a mess. I'm crying. I'm on the ground, and I'm totally beside myself with emotion and the grief, and everything comes out, and everything goes into the floor, into the soil. And I don't know how long that lasts, but then eventually it's over, and then it's like a relief. This huge load, this weight has been lifted off me, and I feel like a new person. It was the most beautiful experience of my life, I think.
Tako potem po maši vzdušje postane rahlo antiklimaktično. Prikorakal si do Santiaga, doživel romarsko mašo, končal svojo pot, kaj pa zdaj? No in pater Brendan sreča enega prav tako irskega jezuita, svojega prijatelja, in mu reče, pojdiva do obale, do Finistera, tam zadnje, najbolj zahodne točke Evrope, čisto turistično. Na ta način je rekel, ne grem peš, greva lahko z avtobusom, in sta res šla. Prišla do tam in videla romarje, ki so zažigali svoje stvari, ki so jih imeli na kaminu, obleke, čevlje. Patru Brendanu se je zadeva zdela nenavadna, čudna, bizarna, ne vedel zakaj, kako. Ampak na tisti točki začel instinktivno čutiti, da ima tudi on sabo eno stvar, ki bi jo tam moral pustiti. Ideja se mu je upirala, ko je razmišljal o njej z glavo, ni hotel zažgati dresa svojega brata, ampak čutil, da to mora narediti, in se na to naslednje jutro sam odpravil tja, peš, tam, kjer so romarji zažigali te svoje obleke, svoje stvari, in se je odločil, da bo tudi on to majico. Najprej ni hotela zagoreti, material ni tako zelo gorljiv, ko pa enkrat zagori, se začne topiti, in je rekel, da ko se je začela topiti tista majica, je čutil tudi, kako se njegovo srce začne tajati, kako začne vse žalovanje prihajati na dan, ko se je njegova majica prodelala v tla, tudi žalovanje on predajal, se poslavljal od njega. Čutil se je, kako da je bila res ena teža dvignjena z njegovih ramen, kako se je osvobodil tega bremena in kako je postal pravzaprav nov človek, kar je bila ena najlepših izkušenj v njegovem življenju.
So then, this is coming back home. This is the house in Belfast. I began a new mission as a Jesuit. I was sent to Belfast. I was working in spirituality. It was like a new life, a new beginning. And I had a new ministry, which was talking to people about suicide and about grief and trying to help people, obviously, because of my own experience. So I had this ministry going around Ireland, talking to different groups, and also training people how to speak to people that have been bereaved. Because there's certain things you do not say, and there's other things that you need to say. You need to help people to get over the guilt, to get over feeling too responsible, feeling that they've made a terrible mistake, that their lives are over, to try to say some helpful things. So another friend of mine who worked for the Jesuits, she said, you have to write this, because it took me a long time to understand. It took me 1 year just to understand what happened and to process the thing. Then I began to write the experience, to write it up in terms of a book. I'd never written a book before, so we just wrote one chapter, the last chapter. We sent it in. Eventually, it got accepted, and eventually the book came out in Ireland, and it did. And the book did really well. It was like a miracle, you know, and it was on the bestseller list, and it did extremely well. And eventually, it was accepted by this Loyola Press in Chicago, who had turned down the book initially, and then they accepted it again. So the book did really well, and it was an incredible experience for me to see how this worked and how it seemed to speak to people. It spoke to people's experience, especially with the grief thing, the Camino, how the Camino works in the deep part, and also the Jesuit spirituality, how to use spirituality in your life, how to reflect on experience, how to make decisions, how to know where God is calling you, how to respond to God's invitation. So then finally, this is just a summary of the grief process for me. Was the prayer on the outside, was the desire to do something concrete, asking God, what should I do with this grief? And then in the green part, in the middle of the walk, the Camino walk is a penitential walk. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not all suffering. There's a lot of joy in it, but it is deliberately giving up things in order to say, God, give me something for this. And the whole thing was about letting go of things, learning how to cope with illness, with difficulty, in order to recognize that one moment at the end. I understood everything at the end. In the middle of it, I understood nothing when I was going through it. But the symbol, the T-shirt, and the ritual, the burning, these are very Catholic things. We need the sacrament, is putting it into action, having a real concrete thing to do, having a task, having a symbol, and doing things with that in order to express what's inside of ourselves, to put it out there, and to make it into something, and allow God to make it into something beautiful.
Takoj potem, ko je prišel domov iz Camina, začel svoje novo poslanstvo. Začel z novo zadolžitvijo tudi. Pričel je govoriti o samomoru, pomagati ljudem, ki so žalovali, in pomagati ozavestiti to žalovanje. Hodil po irski, se srečeval z ljudmi, treniral ljudi, ki so pomagali ljudem v podobnih situacijah, ker namreč so določene stvari, ki jih rečeš, določene stvari, ki jih ne rečeš, da si čim bolj v pomoč tem, ki žalujejo. In trajalo za njega 1 leto, da je sam dojel vse skupaj, kaj je bilo, in potem pa je na pobudo prav tako enega svojega sobrata začel pisati. In začel pisati knjigo o svojem romanju, o Caminu, o žalovanju. Najprej poslal zadnje poglavje, ki ga je spisal, je bilo sprejeto, kasneje je bila natisnjena celotna knjiga, in knjiga je bila precej uspešna, postala bestseller na irskem. Končno jo je sprejel Loyola Press iz Chicaga, ki je knjigo sprva sicer zavrnil, ampak so jo potem tudi tam sprejeli. In o tem je pisal, kako pravzaprav deluje Camino, kako živeti svojo duhovnost, kako razločevati, kako se odzivati na klic Boga v našem življenju, kako ga videti v stvarih, po katerih nas kliče, pravzaprav razlagal to svojo ignacijansko duhovnost. In znotraj tega želel razložiti nekaj več o procesu samega žalovanja, prva stvar je bila tista, ki je zaujemala vse skupaj, je bila njegova globoka želja potem, da nekaj naredi. Neka molitev, predati vse to skupaj Bogu. Potem se je odločil, kako to pravzaprav narediti z nekim romanjem, hojo, ki je predstavljala pravzaprav neko pokoro. Z vsemi izzivi je bila zahtevno, težko delo, veliko odpovedovanja, moral narediti določene stvari, da je na koncu prišel do tega milostnega trenutka. In v tem milostnem trenutku združil neke zelo krščanske simbole, zelo krščanske arhetipe, pravzaprav ta simbol, to neko materialno predstavo njegovega romanja, združil v nekem obredu. Ljudje potrebujemo obrede. Kristjani imamo zakramente, kjer udejanjimo določene milosti, ki so nam dane, in to je v bistvu bilo za njega ta zažig te majice, ki predstavlja simbol, ki ga je poslal na pot.
I invite you to do the same with your own life, with your own story. Thank you.
In tudi nas vabi, da isto počnemo v svojem življenju, v naših lastnih zgodbah.
Najlepša hvala Patru Brendenu za to podelitev. Thank you very much for your sharing. Imate razpolago, da pošljete kakšno vprašanje. Če ste bili pozorni na začetku, kako se to naredi. Vidim, da že vprašanja prihajajo. No, lepo, v angleščini sploh ni treba prevajati. What advice will you give to someone who wants to experience Camino de Santiago to the fullest? What advice?
So remember I said at the beginning, the Camino, people walk the Camino for lots of different reasons. You know, some people do it for sport, or for a holiday, or to meet friends and to get on with people, but that's not what the Camino is really about. It's about finding answers to serious questions. The Camino is about God, ultimately, and that is where the value is. That's where the riches of the history of the Camino. It's over 1,000 years old. And to get there, you have to do things slightly differently. You have to know why you were going. You have to be very clear about your reason. Remember, I was saying I was going because of my brother, and I brought the symbol. So to do that work beforehand, and it guides the whole walk, and it guides how you do things, how you interact, how you walk during the day, and also it guides your prayer, because prayer on the Camino is different than just praying at home in a church or saying words. On the Camino, it's your whole body. Your whole body is the prayer, and the mind stops. After a few days, the mind stops, and you're just praying with your heart. You're out there on your own. Being a pilgrim means you're open, you're flexible, you're looking for God, you're searching, and it's a hard thing. You feel the desire inside yourself, the desire for God, the desire for something more, the desire to be in communication with something really profound, something deep, something that's real, something that's speaking to me. And it gives you the space to listen for the words, and that's the key thing, to listen. And everything is communicating with you. God is communicating with us all the time, and often we're not listening. So the Camino is the place to stop thinking, and just to listen, to be there.
Tako, vprašanje je bilo, kakšen bi bil nasvet Patra Brendena za najbolj polno doživetje Camina. In pravi, da je že na začetku povedal, da ljudje hodijo za različne namene. Nekateri hodijo za šport, nekateri hodijo za dopust, da bi srečali različne ljudi, ampak v končni fazi je najboljši oziroma najbolj pravi način tisti, da iščeš odgovore na neka vprašanja. V končni fazi da iščeš Boga. To je tudi ta že več kot 1000-letna zgodovina in tradicija Camina. In tukaj je ključni nasvet, oziroma to glavna stvar, da moraš vedeti, zakaj greš. To se moraš pripraviti že vnaprej. To je sam naredil, ko je vedel, da gre za to, da predela izgubo svojega brata, vzel seboj simbol, spravi bil že na ta način pripravljen, da imel tudi materialno stvar seboj, in potem ta tvoj namen, ta tvoja priprava vodite. Vodi tvojo hojo in vodi tvojo molitev. Namreč molitev na Caminu je drugačna. Moliš s celim telesom. Po nekaj dneh se glava izklopi in ostane samo še srce, in Camino je stvar srca. Ker čutiš neko željo po več, po nečem presežnem, resnično nagovarjajočem, po Bogu. In ključ je v tem poslušanju. Bog nam gotovo skozi neprestano govori, je pa vprašanje v tem, če smo mi pripravljeni poslušati. In Camino je tisti, ki te odpira za to poslušanje, ki te pripravi ravno v tem, da tvoje celo telo stopa v to komunikacijo z Bogom, stopa v odnos, stopa v to molitev.
Next question. Did you ever feel guilty for the suicide of your brother Don?
Yeah, that's a really important question, because feeling guilty is a key part of the suicide, the bereavement. Suicide bereavement is that you're left with the guilt, you're left feeling responsible, and you're left feeling that you made a mistake, and it's a terrible thing to live with. It seems impossible to get away from it, because it's so prevalent, it's so common, and I experienced that myself, and I did so much for my brother. You know, I did everything for him. and I looked after him, and I sought him out, and I talked to him, and I got him help, and I did everything, but I still felt I didn't do enough. I still felt responsible. And I remember going for counselling one day, and the counsellor said to me, you know, you feel guilty about this, but think about everything that you have done. Think about all the stuff that you did, and think about how you kept your brother alive by what you did. So just turn it around and look at it as a positive thing. You did everything you could, and you need to live with that. You need to accept that. And that really helped me. That really helped me to stop doing that, because I was going around at one stage like a detective. I was trying to find out reasons why my brother died, and talking to his friends and trying to get this information. What happened on the last night used to torture me, would drive me insane. What happened on the last night? Who spoke to him? What was his frame of mind? Nobody knows. Nobody knows why people take their lives. It's impossible to know, and you need to let that go. But it's so difficult to let it go, to step back from all of that, you know. But that's part of the healing. Part of the healing process is to realize it's not about me. Remember, it's not about me being a hero and doing everything perfect. I have to accept my limitations, accept that he's taken his life, he's gone, and I did everything, I did as much as I could, and I have to accept that, and accept that God reconciles everything. God can reconcile even this terrible thing that's happened. And that's the faith, that's the belief. And it changes the way you believe. This is the key thing. It changes your belief, it changes your faith, it changes the way you pray. Because sometimes we make a deal with God. We make a deal, an arrangement, you know, that if I pray to you, and if I do everything I should, then you will look after me. God is like an insurance policy. God will look after me, and it's a false thing. We know this, but we do this, you know. So suicide bereavement really fixes that problem.
Vprašanje je bilo, če kdaj je občutil krivdo v smrti svojega brata. Mi izpostavljajo, da je to res eno od ključnih vprašanj. Zelo pomembno vprašanje, namreč krivdo, odgovornost občutiš. Je tako vseobsegajoče in ta prevladujoč občutek, da se mu ne moreš izogniti. Sam je naredil vse, kar je lahko, poslal ga je svetovalcem, psihiatrom, ga obdržal dejansko v življenju nekaj časa, ampak še vedno je sam to čutil. In ko je bil sam na spremljanju, na svetovanju, njegov svetovalec rekel, da ne se osredotoči na pozitivno, ne se osredotoči na to, kar dejansko je naredil. Mora sprejeti, kar je bilo. Sam je namreč skušal najti razloge. Obremenjeval se s tem, da je kot detektiv iskal, kaj se je dogajalo, kaj so bili tisti zadnji dogodki, zadnjo noč, kaj je bilo, s kom je govoril, kaj se je zgodilo, da je dejansko končno si vzel svoje življenje. Ampak v končni fazi nihče ne ve, zakaj si ljudje vzamejo življenje. In del ozdravljenja je ravno v tem, da spoznaš, da ne gre zate, da ne gre za to, da si ti tisti heroj, ki zmoreš, ki bi moral, ampak sprejmeš. In to je tisto, kar je na nek način končni cilj tudi Camina, da sprejmeš, da je Bog tisti, ki posreduje v življenju, in na nek način to spremeni, to spoznanje, to sprejetje spremeni tudi tvojo vero. Ni več tistega trgovanja z Bogom, jaz bom molil, jaz bom delal to, kar moram, ti pa boš čuval name. To je tisto, kar je neka lažna občutek, ni cilj in smisel vere, in to lahko v tem žalovanskem procesu po samomoru tudi spoznamo in se naučimo.
Next question, then, which are the most difficult aspects of grieving when somebody of our loved ones commits suicide?
Yeah, so I think suicide is a very particular grief. It has a very particular configuration, it has a very particular shape to it, and it's not like other deaths, because it leaves open all these questions for the family and for close people. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to do to people because of the consequences on the people that are left living with the effects of that. And part of the problem is that there are no answers. There's no closure. There's no end. If somebody dies in an accident or somebody dies of natural causes, you can understand that. But suicide is so difficult. It's so difficult to understand. So it leaves open all these wounds, and people find it very difficult to deal with suicide and to find a way through it. So finding ways of addressing it in particular. So that's why I recommend you need to read about suicide, what the bereavement is like. We need to understand the process, and we need to understand what helps to address the particular issues that are involved in that. So remember I said about the suicide bereavement group, for me, was one of the most useful things. And I was just going as a member. I was one receiving, and that was new for me. You know, I'm not the one with the knowledge. I'm not the one giving the answers. I'm the one receiving, you know.
Vprašanje je bilo, kaj so tisti najtežji vidika žalovanja po samomoru. In pater Brendan je odgovoril, da je resnično žalovanje po samomoru zelo specifično. Ostaja namreč toliko vprašanj odprtih. Grozno je za žalujoče, ki pač so ostali s temi vprašanji, ki ne morejo dobiti nekega zaključka za to vprašanje. Ni odgovorov, ni pravih odgovorov. Naravno smrt še razumemo, ampak rane, ki jih pusti samomor in vprašanje, so pa tukaj res, res težki. In težko je najti različne načine za to soočanje. Se je pa potrebno pravzaprav tudi na nek način študirati, tudi izobraževati o tem, kaj so tiste stvari, ki delujejo, kaj so stvari, ki ne delujejo, zato da lahko pač pomagamo. In recimo za patra Brendana je bila ta vključitev v to skupino za samo pomoč izjemnega pomena. To, da je spoznal, da je bil v drugi vlogi, da ni bil tisti, ki je imel odgovore, ni bil tisti, ki je bil zadolžen za to, da pomaga drugim, ampak da je bil tam z ljudmi, ki so bili v enaki situaciji, ki so sami iskali odgovore, ki so samo lahko delili to svojo žalost z njegovo.
Next question. What to do with all the darkness that we as a human beings bear in our lives and so often in ourselves?
Yes, that's a very important question about the darkness that is in us. I think we all experience this. We all go through difficult moments. We all go through hell. We all go through awful moments of darkness when it seems like there is no light, there is no possibility, there's no hope, there's no way through this. And for me, this is the key thing. Whenever Jesus says on the cross, he says, "Why have you forsaken me?" Remember those words when he says in the gospel? Those are terrible words. But if you have been bereaved by suicide, you will understand those words. You'll understand the despair. You understand the sense of abandonment, the sense that you have left me. And it really helps to understand that Jesus has been through that same experience. And this is the experience of the cross. This is the real tough end of faith. This is the moment where we get tested. This is the awfulness that we have to go through. The key thing for me is that God is in the darkness. God is in the darkness. God is in that experience really powerfully, and you feel that God is absent. This is the problem. We feel that God has left me. Jesus felt this, that God has left me alone. But it's not true. God is working most powerfully in that moment of darkness. Remember, the resurrection happens after the cross, but only after you go through. You have to go through the darkness. You have to pray with the darkness. You have to pray with the problem. This is the Jesuit slogan. You pray with the issue. You pray with the darkness. You ask for help, and you do the opposite of what it feels like I should give up. It feels like God's not there, but you have to do the opposite. You have to believe that God is here. You have to find God in those really difficult moments, and you have to find a way through it. You have to find a way to walk through the darkness, and you have to do something. Even though we feel immobile, we feel that we should give up, but you have to keep going. You have to keep walking on the path, knowing that Christ walks with us in the darkness, especially in the darkness. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, but this is a horrible journey, but this is the only way, is through the darkness to the other light, to the light on the other side. The darkness means the light is just beyond.
Vprašanje je bilo, kaj storiti z vso temo, ki jo vidimo v naših življenjih, z vso temo v nas. In pater Brendan je odgovoril, da je dejansko gotovo vsi izkušamo to temo, vsi gremo skozi temne trenutke, ko se nam zdijo brez upanja. In takrat se lahko spomnim tudi na to, da tudi Jezus na križu reče, zakaj si me zapustil. Sliši se težko, sliši se očitajoče strani Jezusa, ampak recimo z izkušnjo žalovanja ob samomoru lahko to razumemo. Čutiš se res zapuščenega, čutiš se samega, odpovedal bi se Bogu, zdi se ti, da ga ni, ampak na nek način pomaga, da veš, da je bil tudi Jezus v tem, tudi Jezus je bil v tej stiski. In ključno je videti Boga v temi, ključno je vedeti, da Bog je v temi in da je v tej izkušnji. Če se čutimo zapuščene, to ni res. Bog dela in dela najmočneje v teh trenutkih. Ustajenje pride po križu, ampak pride tudi potem, ko ti nekaj delaš. Torej, moreš delati. Jezuitski način je, da ti moliš s tem problemom, da ga izročaš in iščeš Boga v tem, iščeš, kje te nagovarja, iščeš pot skozi temo. Tudi ko se čutiš povsem imobiliziranega, ohromelega, moraš narediti nekaj. Moraš vztrajati na poti, moraš hoditi in moraš vedeti, da je Jezus s tabo. To ti res pomaga. Pot je težka, ampak edina način je po tej poti. Namreč skozi temo prideš do te svetlobe, prideš do ustajenja.
Have you seen the movie The Way? It describes quite similar experience about grieving father on Camino, who finds peace at the end.
I have seen this movie, The Way, with Martin Sheen. I have seen this. I saw it twice. I saw it once before I went on the Camino, and I saw it afterwards. And I borrowed some things from that movie. That's where I got the idea about the T-shirt. Remember in the movie, he has the ashes of his son, and he has this little ritual. That's where I got the idea from the movie. But after I did the Camino, I saw the movie again, and I understood everything. And I found it really emotional because I had an experience to base it on, and I was in tears almost the whole way through the movie because it was so close. It's so close to my own experience, but it's so helpful. It's so helpful to realize the way that the process goes. Everybody in that movie is going through a grief process for something. Everybody's trying to find a way, and there's some really bad moments and things go wrong, but there is hope, and there's a process, and the people get through to the other side. And the Camino is the teacher. Remember, the Camino teaches you, and we have to learn. We have to be open to learning from that. It's not about us. It's not about us, and not about being a hero, or not about being in control, especially not being in control. You have to let go, and let God.
Vprašanje je bil, če je videl film The Way, ki govori o podobni izkušnji, in pater Brandon povedal, da je videl ta film, da ga je videl pred in po svojem kaminu. Da je pravzaprav v filmu dobil idejo o dresu, o tem simbolu, namreč tam Martin Sheen hodi po kaminu s pepelom svojega sina, in ko je pa videl sam film po svojem kaminu, pa je rekel, da mu je bil še bolj pretresljiv, še bolj ganljiv, da je vse razumel na drug način, ker je sam imel to izkušnjo, da je bil v solzah praktično cel film. Tam namreč vsi v filmu na nek način žalujejo, iščejo pot in najdejo to upanje na poti. In namreč kamino je tisti, ki uči, mi se moramo odpreti in poslušati in učiti. In še enkrat poudarjam, da ni kamino o tebi. Ni kamino o tem, da ti postaneš heroj svoje poti, da imaš nadzor nad tem, ampak da se prepustiš in da pustiš Bogu, da deluje.
Brandon, could you tell us about the Jesuit way of searching the right way of life? What would you recommend a young person? How to follow the right way? Yeah. The way that God planned for him.
So sure, you remember at the beginning I was saying about my own vocation story. This was a revelation to me that God is speaking inside of us. I was looking in the wrong places. I was looking outside of myself. I was looking in, having fun or prestige or what other people thought, all those external things. And it was a mystery. It was such a revelation that God is speaking to me inside myself. I need to create the space inside myself to listen. This is the quiet space, and especially reflection. Reflection on experience is the key thing, to look on my experience. Remember, I was in England working in computers, and it was a very empty experience. Once I reflected on that, I did a retreat with the Benedictines and the Isle of Wight. And once I got that retreat, I had a weekend of silence in the monastery, and I knew for sure that was not the life for me. And also I knew God was speaking to me. God was saying, get out of there. You've got to do something different, you know. So that inner life, it is difficult. There's a lot of emotion in it sometimes, but there are answers there. We need good guidance. This is a key thing. Also having someone that can listen to us. This is my job at the moment. I do spiritual direction for people. Having someone that can listen and is a professional and knows how to give you good feedback. The prayer, personal prayer, silence, and also some spiritual input, reading about other people who have done a similar thing. St. Ignatius of Loyola, the books about Ignatian spirituality are very good on this, about making decisions, about tuning into yourself, working out what God is saying, and then taking action and reflecting on everything as you go. It's a process, but it works perfectly.
Kakšen nasvet bi dal mlademu človeku, kako iskati svojo pravo pot s to ignacijansko duhovnostjo na jezuitski način, in je spomnil na svojo pot poklicanosti, na to, kako je bilo za njega pravzaprav res pravo razodetje to, da mu Bog govori v njegovi notranjosti. In to je ključno spoznanje, izjemna skrivnost, razodetje. Bog mi ne govori po zunanjih stvareh, ampak tudi po moji notranjosti. Znotraj sebe moram torej ustvariti prostor, kjer ga lahko poslušam. Ustvariti moram ta prostor. Ob tem pa priložnosti izkoristiti, da reflektiram svoje delovanje, da reflektiram vse svoje izkušnje. Pomembno je se zavedati, da je duhovno življenje, da notranje življenje je lahko težko, je polno čustev, ampak potrebno, da se ustavimo, umirimo in da imamo tudi dobro spremljanje, dobro vodstvo na tej poti, in to je to, s čimer se zdaj ukvarja pater Brendan, namreč da spremlja ljudi, da jim svetuje, jih vodi, usmerja. Tiste stvari, ki so še pomembne, so zagotovo neka osebna molitev, tišina, v kateri se lahko umiknemo tudi v refleksijo svojih izkušenj, doživeti, pa prebiranje o življenjih svetnikov, o ignacijanski poti, o svetem Ignaciju Lojolskem. Gre gotovo za en proces, ki ni preprost, ampak deluje, ima rezultate.
In the Bible is written that we will have to be grateful for everything. But we know that suicide is not in God's plan. But how grateful works in this situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, suicide is not part of the plan, but I still have to live with that reality. I have to find God in the mess of that, in the difficulty of that, in the struggle of that, and being grateful for small things. To say that God is in the gratitude for things, and that being ungrateful, the opposite, that's where God is not. You know. This is what St. Ignatius says. He says that ingratitude is the biggest sin. Ingratitude, because ingratitude will bring you to a very bad place, you know. It'll bring you to despair. It'll bring you to depression. And we need to get ourselves into good places. We need to be able to think positively about things. So even in after suicide, I need to get myself into a good place. I need to get balance in my life. I need to look after my health. I need to talk to people. I need to be part of a group. I need to be moving. I need to be in a process that's going forward somewhere. And being grateful helps me to keep balanced and to keep on the track, to keep moving forward. It's a very simple thing. There's a Jesuit technique called the examen, which you do at the end of the day. You look back over the whole day and you see where the good moments were in the day, and you try to be grateful. Every day has some good moments, but we focus on the negative, we focus on the difficult things, we focus on the pain, and that's there, but that's not the whole story. There is always light. There is always light to illuminate the darkness. There is always something good has happened. There is always a gift in the day. We have to see the day the way that God sees it, because God sees it very differently. God sees the goodness, God sees the progress, God sees the hope, God sees the way through the difficulty.
Če moramo biti hvaležni za vse, kako smo lahko hvaležni v situaciji soočanja s samomorom, samomor, ki gotovo ni v Božjem načrtu. Pater Brendan pravi, da je vprašanje res pomembno in dobro, ampak gotovo samomor ni del Božjega načrta, še vedno pa moramo v tem boju, v tem kaosu, ki je ostal po temu našem žalovanju, najti Boga. Bog je v hvaležnosti za vse majhne stvari, ki jih lahko doživljamo. V tistem pozitivnem, tistem malem, kar lahko zaznamo. Sveti Ignacij pravi, da je nehvaležnost največji greh, da vodi v obup, v depresijo, neko spiralo, ki te vodi navzdol, in tudi v slabem, v temnem moram najti neko ravnotežje, moram iti naprej po poti. In tisto, kar jezuiti počnejo, je ena od njihovih teh ritualov, obredov, je pregled dneva, v katerem iščejo dobro v vsakem dnevu. Tisto, kar je bilo pozitivno, tisti majhni darovi, majhna darila. Vedno, pravi pater Brendan, je neka svetloba, ki ožarja to temo. In mi se moramo truditi osredotočati na to, osredotočati na pozitivno, da nas to ohranja v nekem pozitivnem razpoloženju, v nekem pozitivnem duhu, da smo hvaležni, da ohranimo to hvaležnost. Namreč na ta način se trudimo gledati kot Bog. Mi vidimo tiste stvari, ki so težke, ki so gotovo v naših situacijah, ampak v vsaki situaciji je tudi nekaj pozitivnega in to je tisto, na kar se velja osredotočati.
So I have another question here written, and it's a very good question. It's about if you feel guilty because someone has died, you feel relieved because the person has gone, that the problem is over. And that's a very common thing in suicide as well, that you have a mixture of feelings. It's not just one thing. It's not just a negative thing. Sometimes it can be a lot of relief. Like I remember specifically that now when my brother died, I don't have to worry about, you hear the news at night, and you're listening for news about your brother, if he died in a car accident or something happened, or you're always worried that something's going to happen. And then when he dies, you think, well, I don't have to worry anymore. So you feel guilty because, oh my God, I shouldn't feel positive because my brother has died, but it's part of the grief process. It's a normal part of the complexity of emotion. So I feel terrible sorrow, but I feel relief as well because the whole nightmare is over, That nightmare of wondering what's happening. The next phone call will be somebody to tell me about another disaster, something that's happened to my brother. He's done something else. He's crashed the car. He's hurt someone. All these things that went on and on forever. So the complexity of the emotion is important to acknowledge, that it can be positive, it can be negative. The grief process is very complicated in suicide. It's a very complicated grief process. We need to get professional help, remember? Get help and get good help. Get people who understand the process, who can help you to work through the feelings. And don't take shortcuts. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't just get a friend to listen to you, because a friend can't help you to get through the real difficult stuff. Get a good professional. Get all the help you need, and don't take shortcuts. Do not keep it inside yourself. Everybody has to ask for help, and you have to get over this kind of false pride, that I can do it myself, or I just want to keep it inside myself. Ask for help is the most courageous thing. It's the best thing you can possibly do, and it's very difficult, but it's the answer.
Kaj pa ob občutkih olajšanja ob smrti bližnjih? Tudi v procesu žalovanja po samomoru lahko pridemo do teh občutkov in pravi, da je to res eno zanimivejših spoznanj, ki jih je imel, da v bistvu žalovanje po samomoru je polno nekih mešanih čustev. Tudi sam je občutil določeno mero olajšanja. Ob ogromni žalosti sicer mu zdaj ni bilo več treba skrbeti. Ni bil v strahu pred naslednjim telefonskim klicem sredi noči, ki ga bo obvestil o tem, da je njegov brat naredil spet nekaj z avtom, se zabeletel nekam, komu kaj naredil, sebi kaj naredil. Ni mu bilo treba več živeti v tej nočni mori pričakovanja naslednje grozne stvari. Ob tem, ko čutiš to olajšanje, gotovo seveda čutiš tudi določeno mero krivde. Grozna stvar je, ne bi smel imeti niti pozitivnih čustev ob smrti in izgubi svojega brata, ampak to vse je normalen del procesa žalovanja. Je grozna žalost, lahko so tudi druga čustva. Nujno je zaznati to kompleksnost celotnega žalovanja. In to, kar je pomembno sporočilo, je to, da moramo poiskati pomoč. Da moramo v taki situaciji res poiskati dobro, strokovno pomoč, ljudi, ki razumejo proces žalovanja, specifičnega žalovanja ob samomoru bližnjih. Ni dovolj najti zgolj prijatelja, ki nas lahko posluša v tistih najhujših trenutkih, nas lahko to pripelje skozi, ampak ne smemo iskati bližnjic, ne smemo si misliti, bomo že sami to malo predelali, bomo to predelali z nekimi prijatelji. Treba je najti nekoga, ki nam lahko strokovno pomaga in dobro usmerja na tej naši poti. Moramo se odpovedati nekemu občutku, lažnemu občutku tega ponosa, da sami zmoremo. Ena od največjih, najbolj plemenitih stvari, ki jih lahko človek naredi, je v tem, da si prizna in da resnično poišče pomoč.
Mogoče zadnje vprašanje. Jaz se pravi čujem še veliko vprašanje, vseh žal ne bomo mogli odgovoriti. You mentioned in your book, one of the Jesuits, the Spanish Jesuits, mentioned that the Camino has a bigger power than the spiritual exercises. What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, I think that is true. That, remember I said the Camino is a great teacher, and the Camino challenges you on all these different levels. You know, physically it's difficult, emotionally it's really difficult, and spiritually it's really difficult. And if you are open and if you're willing, you can learn a huge amount of things, because it pushes you all the time. You know, like for example, if somebody is snoring at night and keeps you up all night, it's a horrible thing, and it really pushes you, you know. Or you get hungry, and you get angry sometimes. You know, sometimes you lose your temper, and sometimes you say things you wish you didn't, and you realize what it means to be human. What it means to be human is that we are not the hero, we're not the center of the universe, and we need help. We need God's help, we need other people's help. And that process of becoming more human, becoming more compassionate, understanding other people, understanding my own limits, that is what the spiritual exercises is about, becoming more human, because that's where God is, in the most human thing, you know. So it's not about, you know, I get this all the time. People think that the Camino is a huge performance thing. It's about walking, you know, a huge distance and being a bit, especially guys, men, think it's a performance, you know. So people are saying, well, I did 50 kilometers a day, you know, and I think, okay, you didn't learn anything at all. You didn't learn anything at all that day, you know. The Camino is about humility, in the good sense. Humility is understanding what my limits are, understanding why I need other people, understanding what it is to be human, what it is to ask for help, what it is to have difficult days, and what joy is, what real joy is to accept these things and to live as best you can, and to live your best self every day. That's what the spiritual exercise is, your best self every day.
Kakšno je mnenje patra Brendana o tem, v primerjavi, kdo ima večjo moč, Camino ali duhovne vaje? In pravi, da se strinja s tem mnenjem njegovega sobrata jezuita, ki pravi, da je Camino tisti, ki ima večjo moč. Camino je res učitelj, kot je sam rekel, izzovete na ogromno ravneh, izzovete fizično, čustveno, duhovno, in če si pripravljen, če si odprt, te lahko nauči res ogromno. Že sama nespečnost zaradi tega, ker eden od tvojih bratov in sester v hostlu zraven tebe smrči celo noč, te lahko fizično čisto preparira za naslednji dan, da se naučiš kakšno novo stvar. Spoznavaš vedno bolj, kaj pomeni biti človek. Ob tem, da si jezen, da si lačen, spoznavaš, da nisi center sveta, da ne gre za to, da si ti ta junak, ki hodi po svoji poti, ampak da potrebuješ pomoč, in v tem postajaš človeški. Bog je najbolj v teh najbolj preprostih, najbolj človeških stvarih. Camino ne gre za vzdržljivost, ne gre za neko dokazovanje. Če mu reče nekdo, hodil sem po 50 km na dan, je rekel, super, ta dan se verjetno nisi naučil nič. Camino gre za ponižnost in gre za razumevanje, spoznavanje svojih lastnih omejitev in potreb po sočloveku, potreb po pomoči, potreb po Bogu. In končno je tudi učiti se veseliti, učiti živeti to radost, učiti živeti se kot najboljša izvedba sebe iz dneva v dan, kar je končno tudi cilj ignacijanskih duhovnih vaj.
So maybe if you want to have some summarizing quotes at the end, you're free to do it, and after...
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
So just to finish, you don't have to go to Spain to do the Camino. The Camino is something that happens here inside yourself. It's a way, the Camino is the way that you approach life, and life is the most difficult Camino, and life teaches us, and God is in all the things of life, and especially in the difficult things of life. Like we have another book which I brought out with a friend of mine. It's called Finding God in the Mess. Finding God in the mess, because that's where God is, in the difficulties and in the learning of things. And we need to bring all of our attention and all of our care and all of our prayer to our lives, you know, not to separate. If you separate your life, like here's my holy place over here, here's where I go to church, and here's my life over here, and it's a mess. We need to bring the two things together. We need to bring God to bear on all the difficulties of our lives. We need to pray with the mess of the life. We need to bring God into those dark places. We need to ask God's light to come in and transform the darkness, the difficulties, the places where we get caught, the places where the light doesn't come in, where God needs to work. So you pray with the difficulty and you bring God in, and you make your prayer real. This is Pope Francis. God is in the real. God is in the real, not in the ideal. You know, it's a trap. The thinking about God or thinking about holy things is not going to solve anything. You have to bring God into the reality, into the dirt and the muck and the difficulty of everything. That's where God is. That's where God works powerfully.
Nekaj zaključnih misli patra Brendana. Začel s tem, da ni treba iti v Španijo, da opraviš svoj Camino. Camino je pristop do življenja, je način, kako se z njim soočamo. Življenje je pravzaprav največji Camino. In pa Bog je v vsem. Bog je v vseh teh kotičkih življenja in posebej v težavah, posebej v temi. Ne moremo ločevati življenja po segmentih in reči, tukaj je moj sveti kotiček, tukaj hodim k maši, tukaj molim, tukaj pa so moje težave, tukaj je moj kaos. Boga je treba peljati v ta kaos. On je tisti, ki ga lahko osvetli, in to je tisto, kar ga moramo prositi. Prositi moramo, da Bog ožari temine našega življenja. Molimo s temi težavami in Boga vabimo v njih. In še tisto, kar poudarja tudi papež Frančišek, ne moremo o Bogu razmišljati kot o nekem v idealih bivajočem bitju. Treba ga je povabiti v našo resničnost, v našo vsakdanjost, v našo pristnost, nesti ga v vse naše težave, temine, v izzive, ki jih imamo, in ga povabiti tja.
Slišali smo, da je hvaležnost temeljna duhovna drža, in ta večer smo res lahko hvaležni patru Brendanu, da je prišel med nas in da nas je navdušil, da gremo naprej vsak po svojem kaminu. Hvala lepa, pater Brendan. Za darilo je dobil pater povabilo za to, da pride na poti v Sloveniji. Nekaj poti po Sloveniji, lepih poti, kjer bo lahko tudi še meditiral. Si mu Miran lahko poveš, tako da je vabljen, da pride v Slovenijo in odkriva lepote Slovenije. Najlepša hvala tudi patru Miranu, ki je vodil ta pogovor, in pa Marku Valgunju za res odličen prevod. Ne vem, kako si držiš v glavi vse te stvari, da tako lepo prevajaš. Hvala, Marko, za tvoje delo. Hvala še enkrat Mirjam Šolar za glasbeni del nocojšnjega večera. Kot sem že povedal, je zunaj na voljo knjiga patra McManusa. Kdor želi, jo lahko kupi in tudi pater bo še tukaj nekaj časa za mizo in lahko tudi še kakšen izvod podpiše, če bi to želeli. Organizacija Nikodemovih večerov je povezana tudi z določenimi stroški, zato se najlepše zahvaljujemo tudi za vaše prostovoljne prispevke, ki jih lahko oddate v škatlo pred vhodom v dvorano. Prav tako pa ste še enkrat povabljeni, da oddate tudi svoj odmev na evalvacijskih listih, obkrožite lahko samo, kako ste bili zadovoljni z nocojšnjim večerom. Ob koncu bi se skupaj združili še v molitvi Oče naš in bomo potem tudi prosili patra Brandona za blagoslov. So we will join now to pray our Father together and then we will ask you for a blessing. Okay? Jutrišnji večer bo zelo zanimiv. Začnemo pa ure prej kot danes, ob 7:30 in sicer si bomo najprej pogledali film, oziroma igrani film Dekalog, prvi del Dekaloga, 50 minut dolg film, izredno bogat, izredno lep, poln simbolike. Nato bodo 4 gostje povedali svoje razmišljanje in doživljanje tega filma in tudi tem, ki bodo v tem filmu. V glavnem pa glavna tema je, kot je tudi naslov, meriti nemerljivo. Torej, vera in znanost, doživljanje Boga in nedoživljanje Boga v tem materialnem svetu. Torej, 4 gostje, Emanuela Edvard, ki je predsednica društva Skam, kot študentka, potem duhovnik Matjaž Celarc in pa zakonca Kastelec, ki bosta tudi spregovorila vsak svojega vidika. Žena je novinarka, mož je pa režiser. Tako da ste vabljeni k poslušanju, ki ga bo vodil Sergej Valijev, tudi uvod v film bo naredil on. Nato pa po tej refleksiji teh 4 gostov bo spet možnost, da skupaj odmevamo na film, na vsebino filma. In bo to en zaključek po teh 3 večerih, tisti, ki ste naredili cel Camino letošnjih Nikodemovih večerov, boste pravzaprav lahko osebno jutri še bolj obogateni, drugače pa vsi vabljeni ali pa povabite še koga, ker bo zelo zanimiv večer tudi jutri. Tako da sedaj pa prosim patra, mogoče you can come here to we will first pray our Father and then blessing. Okay. V imenu Očeta in Sina in Svetega Duha. Oče naš, ki si v nebesih, posvečeno bodi tvoje ime, pridi k nam tvoje kraljestvo, zgodi se tvoja volja, kakor v nebesih, tako na zemlji. Daj nam danes naš vsakdanji kruh in odpusti nam naše dolge, kakor tudi mi odpuščamo svojim dolžnikom in ne vpelji nas v skušnjavo, temveč reši nas hudega. Amen.
So this is the Irish pilgrim blessing, and it's very simple. It is, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the rain fall softly upon your face. May the sun fall gently upon your fields. And may God hold you in the palm of his hand until we meet again. Amen.
Očeta in Sina in Svetega Duha.